Hi, I'm Venus O'Hara and welcome to another video. The lighting's a bit weird right now. I've got all the shutters closed because it's super sunny here and so hot. I was supposed to make review videos this afternoon, but I'm just too hot. And I just think, you have to listen to your intuition and not just that, but to respect the biorhythms. I'm not quite feeling technical today. But anyway, I just wanted to make a video anyway, and I wanted to talk about my experience as a commercial actress. I actually shared a post about this on Instagram recently about how I was going back to doing castings after a 3-year break. And someone asked me about my career as a commercial actress, how do you become one, my experience and all of that. So I thought I would talk about it here. I've never really talked about it before because when I've done adverts, I've just been kind of like the redhead on set. I haven't really been doing it using my name or anything, so it's just something that it's also, you have to think about confidentiality. You have to sign lots of NDAs when you do castings, etc. But anyway, I started this journey of commercial acting in 2010. It was just a few months after setting up my blog, venusohara.org, and I was doing lots of different things. And as I had experience modelling, I thought, why not go and do adverts? And at first I was thinking about photos because I really do love posing, and I just loved it. And then when I signed up to this agency, they asked me if I could act as well, because actually most of it is acting rather than just posing for photos. Most of it is videos and adverts that you can see online and also on TV. So I said yeah, and I was referring to my own experience as a role play enthusiast, because I do love role play in intimate scenarios, which tends to be a little bit exaggerated. So I had to make everything a lot more subtle, depending on the role, of course. But that was my main experience in acting, was just for my own pleasure. And at first I started getting sent to these castings. I got some training about how to do a casting, first of all, and what you have to do is you have to spend a lot of time waiting. Well, it depends. I think every city is different, but here in Barcelona they tend to send too many people to these casting calls, and you're sitting around for a very long time waiting for your turn. And imagine for each person there could be 5 minutes. So if you see 10 people in front of you, it doesn't seem like a lot, but that's an hour waiting at least. So there's a lot of waiting around, and a lot of beautiful people, and you kind of feel intimidated because it seems like everyone knows each other, or they know the casting directors. Everyone's like, hi, and you're like, it's quite intimidating at first. So anyway, to do a casting, what you have to do is you just have to speak to the camera and say what your name is and which agency represents you. Then you show your profiles, your hands profiles, that side, your side of your face, both sides, and then you just do a spin, like turn around so they can see your body as well. And then you have to kind of do an acting which is related to the role in question. So many adverts actually have lots of different roles to fill, and also different personalities as well. So often when you go to a casting, it's not like everyone in the room is going for the same role. There's lots of different roles usually. So it's what I found is it's quite Benetton, like the adverts of people of all races and ages, and it's quite cool. So I remember the first casting that I went to, I was feeling so intimidated because the topic was phobias, and I just heard it could be fear of spiders, heights, all these different common phobias. And I was just outside in the room in an unfamiliar environment where, as I was saying before, everyone knows each other and everyone's beautiful, and you're thinking, oh my god, I don't know if I should be here, like massive imposter syndrome. And I was hearing all these people screaming inside, because that was part of the casting. The acting part was to scream at something and be really scared. And I just was hearing these screams, and I was feeling really intimidated. And I got up and I left. I thought, I can't do this. But it's really interesting, because what happened was, when I'd been waiting, the casting director had come out of the room to call the next people in, and he'd seen me. And then when he saw that I'd left, because you have to write your name on a piece of paper when you arrive, he said to the person who was the administrator, find that redhead and bring her back. So anyway, my agent called me and said, why did you leave the casting? The casting director wanted to go back. And I was like, oh, because I was feeling intimidated. Well, they said, just go back. You don't have to wait in the queue, so you can go straight in and do the casting. So I did. And I killed it. Yeah. And I actually got the job. I can't believe it. I was so glad I was pushed. It just goes to show you just don't know what people are looking for. And I absolutely loved the experience. I was on set with them, and I've been in photo shoots a lot with these big reflectors and all these different pieces of equipment that you find on a photo shoot. But I remember the kind of reflective thing there was as big as my house. It was massive, and just seeing all the abundance and all the money that goes into advertising, it was really quite fascinating, and it was amazing. I absolutely loved it. And then seeing it on TV, it was a car advert, and then I've done over the years. It's not something you can live from. I would say you're lucky if you get a few adverts in a year, because sometimes when you go to castings, they ask you what your last job was, and if it's kind of recent and you're on something on TV or in some, you've got some representation of you that's recognizable at the same time, it's kind of unlikely that they're going to hire you. So that's why you get quite good money, because it's not something you can do every week or every month or something like that. So over the years I've done some really fun things. I've done just got a message there. Okay, get rid. I've done I'm not going to say the names of the brands, but the actual sectors. I've done pharmaceutical, and that was kind of funny, just to try and pretend I was sick. And I've done an alcoholic drink. I don't drink alcohol anymore, so I wouldn't do that now. And what else have I done? I've done, one thing I will say, I've done FIFA. That was amazing with Oliver Stone, which was an incredible experience. It was really funny because my agent was telling me, it's an Oliver Stone production, and I was like, who is Oliver Stone? I didn't even know who he was until about 2 days before the filming. And to be directed by someone of that caliber was quite an experience. And what else have I done? So furniture sector, soft drinks, a very famous soft drink. So I did lots of these castings for many years, and sometimes to try and not waste time, I used to write my articles as well. I used to bring my iPad with a keyboard and just try and write there while I was waiting and not waste any time, because that's the worst thing about it. And I kind of stopped in 2020. I had probably my biggest ever job I got just before the pandemic, and that was for a global soft drink company. What else have I done? I've done way more than what I've just told you, but I've done lots of different things, and I also did lots of different roles, and I've always avoided doing the mummy roles. I've always been like the teacher, the femme fatale, that kind of thing, or businesswoman, that type of thing. And then I just stopped because of the pandemic. And I also don't think a lot was going on at that time. And also, I didn't really think about going back for a long time, because I was feeling so disconnected from my body after gaining weight, with being sick, with having COVID, the post-viral fatigue, and I also had anemia when I was in hospital. So there was a time in 2021 where I was just not moving around much, and I was just trying to eat a bit more to try and get my strength back. And then I kind of paid the consequences, and I wasn't feeling photo ready at all. I couldn't even fit into most of my clothes. And now just recently I got offered a casting job directly without going to an agent. And at the same time I was thinking, I kind of like this. I want to get back into it. And at the very same day, my old agent got back in touch and said, we have the perfect casting for you. And now a lot of things have changed with the pandemic, post-pandemic. Now, for example, you can do your castings at home. They call it self-tape, which is really cool actually, because I have my own setup. I've got white walls, I've got a ring light, and I can film myself and do these actings without having to go anywhere or actually wait around as before. So I'm just kind of doing it at home and hoping for the best. So yeah, I've got my flat is a mess right now because I haven't been having to move things around to do castings, and I'm hoping something will come out, because it's really fun to do. It's like a one-day job usually, and you have to get up very early. The worst thing about it for me, apart from waiting around in castings, has to be makeup brushes. I've never met a makeup artist with clean brushes. I'm sure they exist, but I've always cringed at that part of it. I mean, I've been on set. I mean, there's a lot of production work happening in Barcelona, especially in the summer. You've got good weather, and also there's a melting pot of different personalities here to fill different roles as well. I remember being on this shoot once, and we were all being powdered by the makeup artist with the same sponge, and I was like, ooh, you know, your makeup looks amazing, but then you're thinking, how much DNA is on my face right now? It's a bit cringe. And also now, on lots of sets, they make you do a PCR as well, which is not cool. I mean, obviously you have to be safe, but I don't like this PCR thing. I'd rather do a saliva test. I'm just, yeah, ooh, I don't like having that thing on my nose. Yeah, so that's about commercial acting. I realise it's different in different cities. I think, you know, Barcelona's quite small, so and everyone knows each other, and I think maybe in other bigger cities going to castings can take up a lot more time in your day. I'm sure there are lots of self-tapes as well, but you just never know what people are looking for, and it's just good to get out there and practice, and voila. So I absolutely love it, but I also love the fact that the world of influencing, when I can make an advert on my own terms and on my own timing, and not think about the competition of trying to be chosen over other people. Whereas sometimes what I love about influencer marketing is that you can still advertise a product, but it's like you're adding to the advertising, you're not really competing against another actress. Yeah, and a lot of my acting actually has been non-verbal. I did a script once which was really cool. I've done some voiceovers, but usually it's non-verbal, and you know, getting those expressions down to a T, or spilling things and surprise. I think that's my forte, is like surprise and like kind of thing. Yeah, so anyway, that's my experience with commercial acting. I love it. And also the great thing about it is that it's something you can do at any age, any stage of your life, because when you switch on the TV and you watch adverts, there are all different profiles there. So it's very different from fashion or something where you have to be maybe a certain height or a certain age or something, whereas commercial modelling is unlimited. It's a celebration of reality, and also just different profiles, different shapes and sizes, etc., etc. Anyway, what about you? Would you like to be a commercial actor, actress? Are you a commercial actor, actress? And how does this compare with your experience? I would love to hear in the comments below. And I'll be back very soon with some more videos. Thanks for watching.